Hello everyone, today I'm bringing you a video on how to sublimate on tumblers. I have a tumbler right here that I'm gonna try to sublimate. I have here my design. This is a design for my daughter. This is the idea that she wanted. So I'm gonna sublimate this image in this sublimation tumbler. This one, as you can see, it's the one that is not taper. There's some of them that they are tapered, so what it means is that sometimes the top it's a little bigger than the bottom, so it's in angle. So always when you try to buy a sublimation tumbler, try always to get the one that is straight. So it's the same size on the top, same size on the bottom. Okay, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna print this image over here, and then we're gonna mirror it. As you can see, it's already mirrored. I'm using Adobe Photoshop. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just mirror it and then print it, and then we're gonna show you how to wrap this thing so you can sublimate your image into the tumbler, and you will get all the ink in this beauty thing. Those sublimation tumblers, they become very popular. A lot of people are doing a lot of designs. You can get any image. Basically, like there's like ton of them. You can find some on Etsy. If you need some ideas, I can give you some. I have a lot of designs too. If you're looking for something, I can try to help you. And also you can get images from online and then just like bring it to your software over here. So what you're gonna do is just gonna make sure that your design, it's in this case mine, it's a 9.5, which is 950, 9.50, on the top, from corner to corner, and from tall it's gonna be I think it's 8.5. Yeah, it's 8.5. So because what we're gonna do, it's we're gonna measure the tumbler. Always, like I say, double check that your tumbler, it's straight, and in that way you know your design is not gonna be an angle, and then you don't have to suffer. You can do that too with another designs, but sometimes it's going to take you a little more time to adjust the size of your tumbler. Okay, so we're going to print this image over here, and I'll show you how to how to wrap this thing up, and how we're going to put it in the oven to cook it. That's what they say. That's what they call it, to cook it, and then show you the final results, and then how the colors, they look so nice. And like I said, you can do a lot of designs, a lot of ideas. You can even put your pictures. You can put anybody's picture. You can put any image that you want, and they're gonna look really cool. And this one also, as you can see, I'll show you on the inside. This one has, it's slit, and also as you can see, it's metal inside. So this thing is gonna keep your cold, either you drink either cold or hot. So let's say you're drinking a coffee, this thing is gonna keep it super hot, because the metal inside is reflecting the heat inside. The same thing with the cold. If your drink is cold, I mean, you put some ice on it. I had like my drink with a little bit of ice, and then I come back, I leave it like for like 20 minutes, and I come back and it's still cold, and it's pretty cool. And you know, like you can take it wherever you want. You can put the lid, you can close it, and it's not gonna spill. So it's pretty good for kids. It's pretty good, like if you go to work and then you want to take something to drink while you're walking, or you know, like working, doing your thing. So this one is pretty cool, and you'll see the final result, how it's gonna look. Okay, let's print this, and then I'll show you how I'm gonna wrap it and put it in the oven to cook it. So in that way, the sublimation ink is gonna transfer to the tumbler. Okay guys, so here I have my design. I already printed. as you can see, this is the one that I'm gonna do for my daughter. And I have the tumbler right here. What I did, it's I clean it up a little bit, so you know, in that way you're not gonna see any fingerprints. Try to keep it clean. What I'm gonna need is a little tape, this one, and also this shrink. It's called, I forgot the name. Shrink paper, shrink back, whatever you wanna call it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the design wrap up in this thing, and then put a little tape, and also we're gonna put the shrink back in the tumbler. We're gonna put it inside the shrink back. We're gonna use a blower to shrink it, because with the heat, this thing is gonna shrink. It's gonna put some pressure, so in that way the ink is gonna be like secure, and you know, like putting a little pressure on the tumbler. So in that way the ink is gonna transfer to the tumbler. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the design around the tumbler. The way I do it, as you can see, this one over here is overlapping a little bit, so that's fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna get a little tape. I'll try to use this tape. Don't try to use like a plastic one, because sometimes it burns when you put it in the oven. This thing is gonna melt, and then this type of tape doesn't do anything. It's gonna get like super dry. I mean, super dark, but it's not gonna burn like the other one. The other one, when you put it, the plastic one is gonna melt. So what I'll do is always try to put it straight. Make sure that make sure the design is touching the bottom. It's straight, and then we're gonna put a little bit of tape to hold it like this. It's gonna overlap a little bit, but that's fine. I'm gonna put another one at the bottom. Okay. And I'm gonna put one on the top. Okay. We're gonna also put a little bit over here, but in a minute. So after that, we're gonna put a little bit over here to make sure it's gonna, you know, like be touching the tumbler. I see a lot of people, they don't use this shrink back. They use just tape around, but I mean, it's up to you. If you don't want to spend more money on the shrink backs, that's fine. But I mean, to me, it's better, because you'll see it's gonna shrink, and it's gonna put a lot of pressure. The pressure is gonna be even. I've seen like some designs that some videos where people use this tape, and then you will see like one spot, because the pressure was not tight. You know, the design was not touching the tumbler, things like that, and then sometimes you can ruin the tumbler, and there's no way to going back. Okay. All right. So over here, as you can see, I tried to put it like covering like all the way. It has some letters that I want to make sure that they are covered, touching the design, because otherwise, I mean, the tumbler is going to look a little weird, you know, the design is going to look cut. So here, what I do, it's where are my scissors? Let me get my scissors. Sometimes what I do is just a little cut right here. So in that way, when you fold the design, it's going to be more practical, and it's not going to leave some marks on the top. Because I've seen some designs that when you fold the top or the bottom, you're going to see some marks, like some lines, and they look so ugly. So over here, I'm just going to put it like that, like this. So in that way, it's going to cover all the top, and we're going to put a little tape. A lot of people too, they use heat tape which is I'll show you which one it is. Let me find it. This one can support like 500 degrees and nothing's gonna melt this thing. So if you want, you can put a little bit of this, like this, just leaving a little, you know, like a little bit hanging, like not touching anything, because we are gonna fold it to put a little pressure and make sure that this thing is gonna not leave any spots or anything like that, because like I said, otherwise you can ruin the tumbler. I think it went all the way down. So alright, so right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it a little bit. It went all the way down. Okay. So like this. When you put the shrink back, also is gonna create some pressure, so in that way you don't have to worry about the top or the bottom. That's why I like the shrink backs, because you know they do their job. They do pretty good. So you see this mark right here. If you don't put a lot of pressure on this, when you remove the paper, that mark is gonna be on the tumbler. So always try to put a little. I think this one is gonna show, but that's fine. Over here at the bottom, I like to leave it like that. I could do the same thing, but it's a little bit. I don't have a lot of space to cut it and then you know, to fold it. So next step is gonna be putting your tumbler inside your bag. How you do it? Just open it and put it inside. I would say like put it in the middle, like this, and then we're gonna use the hair blower. Let me see, which is right here. Okay, I'm gonna use this one. This is my wife's, and I'm gonna start putting a lot of hot air in this thing. That is gonna make it shrink, and then it's gonna put a lot of pressure on the back. Give me 1 second. Okay, once we have it in the back, make sure you get something that is not gonna burn your hands, because this thing is gonna get hot. Alright, so we have the air blower, and we're gonna start like putting some hot air in this thing. Okay, so here we have it. As you can see, it's kind of hot. I'm holding it with this thing. All the wrinkles, they disappear because you're putting hot air, so this thing is shrinking. Don't worry about this. It's not gonna do anything. Don't worry about this. Once you put it in the oven and it's ready to take it out, all you have to do is just cut over here and it just like peel it. And this is how it's gonna look. As you can see, it looks kind of. All the shrinkers, most of them, they're gone. Don't worry about this, because this is gonna be the paper's not gonna do anything. So sometimes, like I said, over here at the bottom, you will see like some lines at the bottom. But what we don't want is like these lines over here on this side of it, because when it's standing, you don't see the bottom. You see like this side. So this is the main thing of putting the shrinking back. So hopefully this one is gonna put a lot of pressure and it's gonna transfer all the ink without leaving any spots. We'll see. But sometimes, I mean, you're gonna ruin one of two to learn. You know, that's how you learn. Ruin things. But this one is ready. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put it in the oven for 6 minutes. Uh, the oven has to be the temperature. I like to leave it 375. Some people say 400 degrees, but I like to put it on 375 for 6 minutes, and then I rotate it because like sometimes the heat is not even. So sometimes the heat comes from the bottom or from the top. So in that way, if the heat comes from the bottom, it's gonna transfer only from here. It depends like what oven you have. So it's good to rotate it. So in that way, the heat is gonna be even, and it's gonna transfer all the ink from the paper to the tumbler. Okay. So now let's put it in the oven and then cook it for like 6 minutes, and then we'll show you the results. All right. So I have my oven over here. It's preheating. I like to keep it keep it on the floor because it gets super hot. 400 degrees, it's a lot. So right now I'm preheating my oven because like when you put the tumbler, it has to be hot. And then, like I said, we're gonna let it cook it for 6 minutes. I don't put the timer on this thing. I like only to put the temperature. It's 375, as you can see. It's not even 400. But some people do 400. That's fine. But I like to keep it at 375. So I'm just gonna let it right now preheat, and then we're gonna put the tumbler inside. I have a thermometer. I'm gonna try to find it to make sure it's 375 inside. Just leave it for a couple of minutes and then make sure that it's not touching anything, because like I said, this thing gets super hot. You can get this oven from Amazon. I think I paid like $60. It's pretty good. If you don't use it for your tumblers, I mean, you can use it like to cook your pizzas or stuff like that. But I bought it for my tumbler, so I don't cook in this thing. It's only to do tumblers. Okay, so I'll be back with the oven when it's ready. Okay, guys, so my oven is already preheat. Um, I'm gonna put the tumbler inside. As you can see, just gonna put it like this, and it's gonna leave it for 6 minutes. I have my iPad over here. Hey Siri, set up the timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Starting now.
Okay, 6 minutes. So what we're gonna do is, like I said, we're gonna leave it for 6 minutes. We're gonna try to rotate it a little bit to the right, and then 2 minutes to the right, 2 minutes to the left. So in that way, the temperature is gonna be even. I think this oven has some heat on the top and some heat at the bottom, so shouldn't be any problems. And it's brand new, so it shouldn't have any problems transferring all the ink to the tumbler. Like I said, this thing gets super hot, so just be careful. And when you take it out, make sure you use a glove that is going to support at least 400 degrees. Like in that way you cannot burn. So let's wait for the 6 minutes and then see how this thing is going to come out. I'll be back. Alright, so 6 minutes and it should be done. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab it. Make sure you're grabbing it with something that it's gonna hold it. As you can see, this thing melt. It shouldn't do that, but it did it. So anyway, now don't try to touch it because it's super hot. Let's just leave it, let it cool off for a few minutes, and then after that we're just gonna remove the paper. Okay, so I'll be back within a minute. Alright guys, so after like 1 minute, it's still pretty hot. I can barely touch it, but anyway, I just wanted to show you how this is gonna look. As you can see, this thing burned. Shouldn't be doing that, but I don't know why I did it, because this thing is supposed to hold like 500 degrees, something like that. So this thing is super hard. Um, so the best way to open this is through here. You can use your scissors and then just try to break this. Sometimes you're gonna do a little mess, but that's okay. I mean, it's part of the process. So start to removing this. Like I said, it's still a little bit hot. You're gonna be peeling this. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it will give you a little bit of headache, but I mean, no huge deal, you know. If you're doing a lot of them, you're gonna have to either like burn a little bit or wait for it to cool down a little bit more. But right now, I just want to show you how this thing looks. When you see the design through here, it means that most of the ink passed through the paper, you know. So I have it this bottom. All right, ready for the final result. Hopefully it's gonna look good. Hopefully it's gonna look the way we want it. Just cut a little bit. Don't try to ruin the tumbler. Well, the top looks good so far. Let's see. As you can see, this thing didn't burn, so it just got a little melted. But other than that, if you put plastic, it's gonna melt and it's gonna create a mess. And this is the final result. It looks so nice. Love it. The bottom I missed a little bit because I think, well, not really. I thought I did, but no. If you see it like this, it's covering the whole bottom and it's covering the whole top. I didn't get any lines, just tiny little ones, but not that big of a deal, you know, like this right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but other than that, I mean, it looks super cool. My daughter's gonna love it. Now it's cool. It's cool enough because, like I said, this thing reflects the temperature. If you put some water in here, and it's gonna get hot. I like the way it looks. My daughter's gonna love it. Maybe over here on the top the letters went a little up, but it looks good. This is the final result. I hope you guys liked the video. If you have any questions, just comment below. Sometimes when you have something like this, you have to make sure that the lines, when you're overlapping, make sure these lines they match with each other, because I've seen like sometimes if your design has some lines like this one and then you don't match them, one of them is going to be a little more higher than the other one at the bottom. So sometimes it's like you have to, you know, like have your own ideas to make this thing works. But like I said, this one is covering the whole bottom. I like it the way, because when it's gonna be standing, it's gonna cover some of them. Before I ruined some of them, and then some of them they had some lines, or over here it's not like putting pressure. That's why I like to use this shrink backs, because it's putting the pressure even, you know, like, because it's like super tight and it creates like more pressure from the paper to the tumbler. So in that way it's gonna transfer all the ink, the sublimation ink. I love it. I love it. I love it. My daughter's gonna love it too. Well, guys, hope you like this tutorial. If you have any comments, comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. We're gonna bring you more videos. Don't forget to share and give us a like. And if you like this, I mean, try to do it at home with your idea, with your design, with your picture, with whatever you like. Thank you for watching the video, and we'll see you pretty soon.